I've booked 29 appointments for enterprise offers using AI and cold email in the last 30 days. The minimum average contract value on each of these enterprise offers is anywhere from $25,000 to $75,000 for the initial setup, and that does not include any lifetime value add-ons should we continue to work together. I will give you a no bullshit walkthrough on how we did this and a breakdown of my thinking and how we set up our campaigns now and going forward. And I'll be the first to tell you that one campaign carried a lot of the weight of those 29 different booked meetings. However, we also had 3 or 4 campaigns that were also performing and still booking us meetings at the same time. And it's not that you are doing anything different on those campaigns, you are just getting outsized results because you happen to nail your positioning. For additional context, we probably sent somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 to 125,000 outbound messages during the month. If you're curious about our infrastructure, we use Google and Microsoft inboxes. Not that that really matters, because enterprise deals don't come into your doorstep just because you happen to be using Outlook inboxes. So I won't go into the exact details of the exact industries and what we said and what we did, but I will tell you the way that we thought about approaching these industries. I'll give you one golden nugget right now, and that is pay attention to where there are political or legislative tailwinds. The first thing we did is we looked into some industries and we tried to figure out what kind of legislative tailwinds are going to make an opportunity to work with our business more relevant. We just wanted to see what laws are going to force businesses' hands. Explained in layman's terms, we basically just looked to see what laws are forcing businesses to take actions. If you know that a law is going to mandate a business to do something, there's probably going to be some kind of transaction on the other side of it. Could be consultation, it could be new equipment, it could be new finance opportunities. It just depends on the legislation being passed and how much of the business is being impacted. There could be really high urgency or there could be relatively low urgency. There could be a really big total addressable market. There could be a really small one. The first thing we did is we were able to find some legislation that impacted a lot of businesses and also took effect before 2026. So we built a thesis and we said, well, we can assume that these are the profiles of businesses that are going to be affected, and this is also the profile of business that we want to do outreach towards that can service those businesses. If business A is going to be affected by a law and business B can help them navigate that, then we want to partner with business B because we can help give them the distribution they need to take over the total addressable market of businesses like business A. Now, I tell you in every single one of these videos that there's 3 things you need for a winning campaign. You need good deliverability, a good audience, and good positioning. Deliverability, I'm not going to go into. I already told you we use Google and Outlook, but there's a million other things that go into deliverability. On the audience side, that means taking a look at what kind of businesses fit into the profile of business A. Because if we know what kind of business A is, then we can go to business B and tell them how we are going to be able to connect them to business A. Now, this is not to be misleading, because the fact of the matter is we did a deep market analysis into businesses like business A that are going to need business B's solution. We are not going to go into an industry if we don't think there's an opportunity there. So we spent a lot of time sizing the opportunity for us, but also for them. We don't sign engagements that we don't think we can fulfill on. So we will not enter that conversation if we don't feel like there is a significant opportunity for both of us to come out on top. We have certain expertise, they have certain expertise. That's why this partnership will work. So now that we built the right audience list and we know the audiences we're going after, then it comes down to the positioning. And that comes from your knowledge of your thesis. Basically, it's the expected outcome of a transaction between your business and business A in servicing businesses like business B. That is the real sauce, the inside scoop of what got us 29 appointments in 30 days for a brand new campaign from scratch. And of those 29 booked meetings, 80% of them probably came from this. Now, and I also want to say that you need to become somewhat of a subject matter expert in this field if you are going to engage with these companies. Spend some time getting to know the market and talk to people in it. Share ideas with friends around you. See if you can teach what it is that you are expected to do, and talk to friends that are in those industries already. You'd be surprised what's already existing in your network today. Now, for the other 2 or 3 campaigns, we follow a very basic model. It's very similar to the same process that we just went through in the first example. However, we don't have the same legislative tailwinds. You basically have to look into markets that have more evergreen offerings. Most businesses fit into this bucket. Every business is looking to close transactions at all times. It's just a matter of getting out in front of them. So the first thing you do is obviously get your deliverability right. After that, it's about finding those audiences that will need services throughout the year. And so you'll have to come up with a couple theses. I recommend going to ChatGPT, explaining the types of businesses you're looking for, the types of engagements you want to get into, and then having it generate some basic list to start. And the point of this is to get you a well-rounded understanding of what there is opportunity for in the market and who might be needing these kinds of opportunities. Another thing that you might want to consider is what size company are you trying to engage with? Are you going to go after Walmart or Google as one of your very first in this campaign? Probably not. You should probably consider companies that are between 20 to maybe 500 employees that might have use for this. Maybe pay attention to other signals like hiring signals, new funding announcements, different things that signal that there is going to be some kind of movement inside the organization that you'll be able to support. Businesses get into engagements with companies like mine because they are looking to grow, they have a mandate to grow with new funding, or they're looking to cut costs, or they're looking to get something done that they don't have the core competency in-house to do yet. A lot of times, frankly speaking, it's just about being in the right place at the right time, and you just happen to be the person that reached out then. That's why volume plays such a big part of this game as well. Now, a couple things that you should be careful of. Certain things didn't work across these 3 or 4 campaigns that we were running. One of them took off like lightning from day one. The rest of them had to consistently be tweaked. We would send, and we would get back feedback from the market. What are people responding to? What are people not? Are we getting way less responses than we think we should? What's the feedback? And then we adjust based on that. Always be prepared to modify your offer, try different angles, constantly iterate until you start seeing those performance metrics trend up. Also, I think it's worth saying, while enterprise cold email has never been easier to do at scale, it's also becoming harder by the day. As quickly as there's new innovations like Clay and personalization and different ways of optimizing your send volume, there's just as many things coming against it to protect against unknown senders and spamming, which you should never do. When I tell you that we are doing 100,000 sends a month, the reason we do that is because we are able to get into such niche markets with such tailored positioning that the outbound we send is highly relevant. People don't mind if it's highly relevant target. That means have a good thesis and have a good audience list. If you were going to replicate this, I would start with a small list with a proven thesis already. See what other people are already doing. There's a million different industries that people are going into and having success with today. Selling offers to agencies is still a viable model. You can go after some of the same people that all these people are already going after. In fact, it's probably good practice. Before you go way up market where there's way more filters, and I'm not just talking about the actual server filters, I'm talking about filtering for positioning, for expertise, you need to have that under your belt. You should cut your teeth with these more saturated markets with offers that are already proven out. My very first business was an email marketing agency for e-commerce clients. That is one of the most saturated markets on the planet. But you know what? You are going to get a good understanding of what kind of things work and how you should position yourself before you go after larger enterprise offers, because there's so much more going on when that happens. If you're looking to implement a private outbound infrastructure that can land you enterprise clients like the ones that I just discussed today, then please book a call with me below. Let's scope it out and see exactly what you need and how we might be able to support.